Folks. Well, boy, another live stream, right? Um, we had some rain this morning. I walked in it. At first, like it was sprinkling, and then as I got further out, it was harder. And so I turned around and started back to the house and noticed it was letting up. So I actually got to finish my walk this morning. And, well, according to my watch, I done 94, 44 steps. So that's pretty good. I guess what I felt my watch vibrate was me reaching probably like 25 PAI because I haven't really been walking. So anyway, before I dive into my weight, yesterday I done according to my menu, but I had said that I was going to practice doing the way down and intermittent fasting together. So I was going to be doing 17-7, which would mean that I would eat around 11 o'clock and stop around 6. And then the way down, which consists of me eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied. And so everything worked great yesterday, and I practiced that. I had gotten hungry close around 8 o'clock, so I ate myself a ham sandwich with chips on the sandwich and on the side. I had said last night in my conclusion video that I wasn't going to feel bad about it because even if I wasn't doing the intermittent fasting, and just the way down, that's how it would have went anyway. I would have only ate when hungry, and I was hungry. Um, so I really didn't get to feeling bad about that. But um, I had read off a few pages of where I had written my food before, but they weren't like pre-written menus, but what I was eating throughout the day at which time. And I was reading those off um, in my conclusion last night, and I was like seriously blown away. And like I knew that I was eating that stuff. I mean that wasn't what was the shocker, but it was like me really seeing it real time after more or less kind of putting it behind me where I'm practicing to do better. And so my indoor cat has learned to love being outside, and she keeps eating the grass when she comes out. She must not like her cat food very much. Anyway, so I really was amazed at what I was eating just not all that long ago, last year toward the end. Like the first day that I had started writing it down was, if I remember correctly, October 7th. And just reading over what I was eating in the day, I was eating up to 6 meals. And I wasn't even walking, I wasn't exercising. I was just sitting at the table doing my earnings and eating. And I honestly thought that I was broken, and I've said that before. I have said that I thought I was honestly broken, that I just couldn't lose weight. And after seeing my eating pattern then, and me thinking that I was honestly doing my best to lose the weight because supposedly I was waiting until I was hungry, I came to realize that that was the true reason why that I wasn't losing weight, and it was also the reason why that I came in over 230 pounds in January. And I was eating like around 2 hours at a time, 2 and 3 hours instead of like the casual 4 and 6 hours. And I was eating bowls of cereal, like 15 count of pizza bowls and 30 count of fries. I mean, I was writing down the count even and the ounces of what I was putting in. Ham sandwiches with chips, which I still eat the ham sandwiches, but it's not, it's nothing like how I was eating it when I was writing it down last year. And I was just, what I was reading off, and I'm going like, what? Because I didn't realize just how bad it was, especially until after now with the way I eat, what I eat, when I eat. I'm seeing things differently. I'm seeing my food differently from how I was then. And so going back over and seeing that now, I'm like, uh, uh, no way. And it really totally explains it all. So why am I losing weight slowly now? Well, I don't think it really matters how slow I'm losing. The fact is I am. The true fact is I am. I'm losing weight. I'm not gaining and I'm not staying. I am losing. And the more I practice better food intake and better timing and allowing my body to be rid even more of the cravings, the easier it will be for me to lose this weight. The easier it will come off. But as I had said last night in my conclusion video, I'm just the same as going cold turkey here. I mean, I go from eating whatever in the world I want, seriously, whatever I want, even if it meant no nutritional value. And, I thought I was eating nutritious by eating big green bowls of cereal. Well, yeah, I'm getting vitamin D. And if I'm eating like Cheerios, supposedly whole grain oats and stuff, but it's still, it just, it still isn't of the greatest value. Um, of course, it's all right, but it would be so much better for me to have a shallow bowl of it if I would ever eat it over a big giant bowl, right? So, um, it's just donuts, Dorito flavored sandwich crackers from Munchies, uh, chips, ice cream, large bowls of cereal. No real nutritional value, none. Um, Not even if I would had logged my food like what I'm doing now, I don't even think that it would show that I was eating equivalent to 20 grams of protein, but the carbs would be off the chart. In some ways, I wish that I had logged my food just so that I would have seen just how bad the macros were, but I had failed to do so. But in the true hindsight of things, it just, and I had no idea. I mean, I honestly thought that because I was waiting for hunger and stopping when full, that I was doing myself right. But what good does it do if you load yourself up on food like that and then you feel lethargic and you don't even feel like getting up and moving? Now, Gren Shamlin had said that even the paraplegics, the ones who can't actually go walk or anything, was able to lose weight, and that may be so. But the thing is, I would say that they was going by what their body needed, and that is the one thing that she had taught us. For us to eat what we're craving at the moment when we're hungry, and most of the time when we are wanting something particular while hungry, that is because our body is needing that particular nutritional value. So, yeah, I was eating what I wanted then, but that was because I was addicted to it. It wasn't because my body was needing what little bit of nutrition I could get out of it. I was just outright addicted to it and craved it. And there is a difference. So, with all that said, in the way that I ate yesterday, I was within the limits by the time I had ate my last meal on my list, and even my macros looked great. I had a higher percentage of my protein over my carbs, which was terrific. But then I had the sandwich with the chips last night when once again I was hungry, and I really am putting my body through training so that it doesn't need to eat so often during the day. That way it will work out better. And but like I said, I wasn't going to be upset about that because even if I was just doing the ray down without intermittent fasting, that's what would have took place anyway. So yesterday I came in at 222.3. This morning I came in at 222.1. So even though it's just a 2 ounce loss, it is a loss. And that was with me not doing any real exercise other than just kind of cleaning up a little bit on the house and my ab workout yesterday. So more than likely, what kept me from losing any more than that was for how late I had ate the sandwich and the chips. Not necessarily because I ate them, but because of how late. And I do notice that it kind of puts a small crimper on my weight loss when I end up eating close to bedtime. But at least I am waiting until I'm hungry instead of just indulging eating whenever I want to. I really am working on training my body. And I've been saying that I was wanting to get myself to eat less portions and uh, just really get smaller just to eat less. But after reading what I had recorded last year and the amounts of food that I was eating throughout the day, I really have honestly started eating less. And, I was thinking that I was still eating too much in portion and everything, but in all truthfulness and all consideration, and I've even seen that as I was editing and after what I had read on my last recording before putting it all together, when I had started to edit my plates and I saw what I had in comparison of what I had just got done reading, it really hit home to me. The difference of what I'm eating and how I'm eating it, when I'm eating it, how much I'm eating. It was as different as night and day, for real. In one of my live streams that I had just given not too long ago, it was either like, I think it might have actually been Monday's live stream or maybe whenever it was. I had said that I was discovering like how much more focused I am, how much more energy I have, uh, how much better I feel overall. Because in the past, it had always been all about losing weight, all about losing weight, and looking good with a slender body and being able to wear skinny clothes and it more or less a vanity thing. But now I am experiencing things that goes much deeper than just weight loss. And I think that is what's really seriously carrying me through and helping me to stay patient with this is because I am also experiencing other things that I had never factored in before. Like here lately, I have just considered me wanting more energy. In the past, when I had thought about losing weight, I didn't even think about having more energy. It was just a true vanity thing. And I think that's one reason why I didn't focus more on the nutritional packed foods that I'm more or less aiming toward now. And I just threw caution out to the wind, I guess you could say. And sure enough, I paid the penalty for it. And it did take its toll on me, even with me thinking that I was losing weight, or because even when I wasn't trying or practicing, I still had this tendency to think that I was trying to lose weight. And I was honestly too loose with how I ate. So, how in the world could I have ever thought that I was honestly trying when I really wasn't even practicing? There was no way. I was deluded. I was like, I, I was lying to myself. And I didn't factor in trying to get more energy or having more stamina or having better focus and better sleep and I didn't factor any of that in, any of it. But how I look at it now is entirely different. And it is really, and to be truthful, to honestly be truthful, when I had determined to try once again to very seriously focus on losing the weight this year after seeing myself being over 230, that is when I had considered that I would like to have more energy because I was just so tired of being lethargic. So that ended up being my secondary focus on top of losing the weight and being able to wear my smaller clothes and whatnot. But by pure accident, here of late, with my change of eating and what I eat, I have discovered the other things that I had never considered. And I don't know which I am enjoying more, the effort to lose the weight or what's happening on the inside of me. But it really does go hand in hand because you've got to take care of the inside before the outside starts to manifest. And I have had all these toxins build up on the inside from man made substances in the quick fix foods. I can't believe I'm even saying this, honestly, because I was always a critic over people who said anything against any food. So for me to even be saying this at all, I almost feel like a hypocrite. But just as good as the junk food has always tasted, the more natural, well balanced, wholesome foods that I now eat, they taste better. They're more satisfying. They're, of course, more nutritionally dense. And I am discovering that I feel so much better when I eat them. Like, for instance, if I attempt to eat a fast fixins food, I end up feeling lethargic, uh, sometimes bloated, air pockets in my throat and in the upper part of my stomach, um, brain fog. Um, I haven't ever noticed if I struggle to sleep or not, because I've never really per se had a problem with sleeping anyway, so I don't know. That's kind of iffy there. I understand that by eating the foods that I'm eating now contributes better to sleep, but I haven't discovered one way or another about that. But it just, the difference between both foods. Uh, According to what I had logged last year with the foods I was eating, I was finding myself wanting more and eating even if I wasn't hungry, and me eating half hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later. up to 6 meals a day. And I didn't feel like getting up and moving. My legs were swelled, my ankles were swelled, my feet were swelled, and I just sat at the table. Terrible, horrible. But with what I'm eating now, uh, I don't feel lethargic. I'm even starting to breathe better because then my stomach was so swelled on the inside that it was even going up against my lungs, keeping me from breathing easier. So now I breathe easier. My stomach doesn't feel like it's packed anymore. Instead, it feels smaller. I mean, even though I still carry a gut yet, because that hasn't really gone down any, on the inside, I can feel it. I can feel the difference on the inside. It feels more hollow and smaller instead of swelled and packed. And, it just, it just, trying to explain all this, it's just, it's not easy to do because I'm trying to be as honest as possible. And all I can say is there truly is a difference with the foods. I didn't digest very easily the quick fix and junk food. A lot of times I went to bed with so much acid and bloating and air that when I would lay down, I couldn't even lie down sitting up. And I would still have acid reflux that would get into my lungs. And it would be bad, horrible bad. I couldn't even turn over on my side. And, I'm a side sleeper. But with practice, as long as I make sure that I am eating the more, before I even say this about the foods I'm eating now, the fast fix and junk food was hard for me to digest. My body wasn't digesting it, and I just tossed it up as the fact of me having hypothyroidism, which does play a factor in digestion. But that kind of food is also dense if you think about it. It's dense. And I do not digest dense food very well. But the foods that I am eating now is easy to digest, and I don't suffer from having the air pockets, feeling like I'm constantly needing to burp and there is no belching going on. Uh, that's like what it is. Um, I'm able to go to the bathroom easier. Um, I'm able to lie down, and like maybe I do feel just a little bit of pressure in my stomach because I choose to take my iron just before bed, so I kind of feel that. But in no time that settles, and then I'm able to turn onto my side, and I don't suffer from acid reflux. It's just, and these giant changes between the two different foods. And I've almost been sounding like a broken record here lately, but once again, I can say I'm honestly starting to understand why that these doctors, nutritionists, and dietitians are so Um, I don't want to say stern or strict, but they are really totally indignant about eating the more wholesome, balanced foods with your good meats and more vegetables and keeping it balanced with your starchy carbs and stuff. It is for truly for the body to be able to digest properly, to have better blood flow, to have better continuity, to overall and all have a better functionality. And that was something that I was really lacking. All the while that I would feel like I like to call have the droppies or the dropsies, which basically I just felt like lying around all the time, being lethargic. Um, and all the while it was because of the different foods I was eating. And sometimes even I can't honestly afford to enjoy a small indulgence. Actually, a small indulgence probably would work out better than what I had ate. But just how that everything is starting to function, and I am liking it. I am liking it. I mean, feeling better and taking care of my body is actually vital if I want to have a more vibrant life. And I do. I want to have a very vibrant life. I want to be able to go out there and enjoy hiking and biking and swimming and just, really enjoying the better things. And I would never get to do that if I am stuck on the couch because I can't even get up long enough to walk from one room to another. So, all in all, it has really gone from not just losing this weight, but really completely having better health. Focusing on the foods that I digest the best and how good I truly feel. It has been well worth the change. And when I had started attempting to eat more balanced, which I had asked the Lord, what could I do? And He told me to eat more balanced meals. And that's what I had started focusing on. And little did I realize that by me working toward eating more proteins and my vegetables and nutrients dense foods, that the cravings for fast fixings and junk food would start to minimize. Now I knew, like, if you cut out soda and you drink water, that when you taste soda again, it tastes nasty. I knew that, but for it to be the same thing with food, I stand in awe or I sit in awe. Because I really deeply consider these things. I truly, truly consider these things. And when I consider them, then I start to weigh the pros and cons between the both. And I never, ever, ever, ever thought in a million years that I would ever, ever, ever say that the fast fixin' junk food would be working against me. Ever. I doubt very much that Melanie Hine even watches anything on Rumble. But maybe on occasion, if she would just catch one of my live streams on YouTube and hear me saying this, she would probably go, "Finally, she got it." Oh my goodness. I'd lost a good friend in Melanie because I was so determined to prove that I could eat junk food and lose the weight. And she was absolutely positively determined to prove to me that I needed to cut my sugars down or completely cut them out. We had a pretty good relationship until that. No, I would never go keto, but I have discovered that the more wholesome, balanced foods truly is a better way to go. I'm never going to be a health nut ever, but I am going to continue to choose the foods that I can easily digest that makes me feel healthier inside and out. And it really is making a difference with my complexion. I had said yesterday in my conclusion that I believe it's the yogurt, but honestly, I think maybe all in all, I think it's all in all because meats have natural collagen, which is great for the complexion. All in all in all, with the dietary change, sorry, I was kicking something out from underneath the table. With the dietary change, even with my skin, hmm. I, when I was eating the junk food like I was constantly busting whiteheads and blackheads. Oh my goodness gracious, people. My girls are so brave with that fence. Let them face those two German shepherds on their property. I guarantee you they would run with their tails in between their legs. Get over here, girls. Come on. Get over there and get those German shepherds all aggravated. My ornery little ladies. They think they're so brave. Callie's afraid of thunder. And Bouncy hates big dogs. The really yellow bellies. I believe they would attack somebody if they was hurting me, though. If it really came down to it, I think they would. But other than that, no. They're all bark. Anyway, I'm going to keep on paying close attention to what I eat and what it's doing for me physically and mentally. It's got to be doing some real good on the inside. Like maybe losing the fat tissue that hangs around the organs. You know, the fat tissue that can choke the organs out so they can't function properly. And that's the first thing that really needs to be considered. The fatty tissue that keeps the heart from fully pumping or keeps the lungs from fully expanding and taking in air properly, or really chokes out the stomach and the liver and the spleen and the intestines and the kidneys. And I think they call that visceral. And they get rid of all of that, and then the fat that's underneath the skin can start to go. I really am feeling good about what I'm doing. I really am. And the fact that I don't eat as often because I am satisfied longer. I am easily hungry. I mean, not easily hungry like immediately, but very easily around 6 hours after my first meal. No problem. No problem. Around 6 hours after my first meal, which is a huge difference from how it was with the way I was eating before, which would be more like, as I said, anywhere from a half hour to 3 hours later. I can do with just two meals and maybe a tiny snack before bed if I'm hungry before bed, over eating up to 6 times a day. Giant, giant difference. And my portions aren't like necessary. They're not smaller, but at the same time they are. I'm a little more aware of the amount that I would eat of something than how I paid attention to it before, which was pretty well zipped. So I still marvel at it. I think in some ways, me reading over the list of foods that I was eating last year and way beyond before that, because I was eating the same way. That hadn't changed. I had just started recording it. But seeing that and realizing you almost want to give myself a little tap on the head and say, I could have had a V8, you know. Oh, wow. And I know I do. I sound like a broken record, but I can't get over it. I cannot get over it that the foods I'm eating now would ever make a difference with how I feel physically, on top of attempting to lose the weight. And the fact that I would ever say that the foods that I had been eating all along in the past was actually working against me and keeping me from losing the weight permanently and keeping it off. And all the videos that I had done between 2018 and 19, all the videos that I had done, over 500, over 500 on YouTube on my weight loss journey alone. I was strength training, walking. I was showing my portions. Yeah, I was eating less portions. Eating salad, the proverbial perfect food. But what I wasn't doing, I wasn't permanently exchanging the food. I was still eating too much outside or whatever, being dishonest with myself and with the viewers, lying to myself and believing the lie. The one key, the one key that I had found I had failed to discover. Praise God for do-overs. I mean, this time I've got that key. I've got that key. And that key is really unlocking things that I never thought could be me. So, for the time being, no matter how slow I am losing the weight, the thing is, other things are taking place. Things that are just as important. And the way I feel, and soon everything will start manifesting. Everything. And my effort will not go in vain. Oh, and I forgot to mention about my ab workout this morning. Uh, so yesterday, let's back up just a tiny bit. Monday, I had just uh, Monday and yesterday, Tuesday, I had only done planks, gravity pulls, which the gravity pulls basically I just stand on all four, my hands and knees, and I pull my stomach in toward my spine for a count. And then rather than full crunches, just pulsing, making sure that I'm engaging my stomach. This morning, though, on top of doing that, I also added leg lift while on my back so that I would be using my lower abs, still engaging my abs while doing it, and attempted to do a tush lift where you're lying on your back and you use your pelvis to raise and lower. Well, I'm going to have to really work on that because that's also working the long muscle in the back of your thigh. And apparently, those muscles in the back of my thigh are somewhat weak because they start to cramp when I attempt to do that workout. So I'm going to be slowly working that in while at the same time still using my abs for the leverage. So everything that I am doing in my floor exercises is focusing on my abs, holding my abs in tight and keeping them engaged so that they are working as I'm using them. And so through doing that, I'm looking for not just for my abs to get smaller, but for them to get tinier, for them to get tighter and stronger. And through having strong abs, I will also have a strong back. So that is what I am now doing. I am going to start out slow with my walking and slowly build my way back up because I had kind of, well, after not walking for a full week and a half, I need to kind of slowly get back into it. And I don't know how many steps, if any, that I'm going to aim toward. I think walking in general may just be the key and not necessarily focus on how many steps or how many miles, but more or less maybe focus on walking in general so that I keep the blood flow, I keep my heart pumping steady, I keep my lungs functioning fully, and that I also include inclines so that I am also strengthening my legs and my glutes. That way, more or less, it all works together as one. But not necessarily what I was doing as a full blown cardio. Uh, Before, just not too long ago, I was really thinking I needed to burn so many calories, just really burn those calories, burn those calories, burn those calories. But if I strengthen my muscles, then I'm burning calories anyway because muscles burn calories better than cardio. So I really need to focus on that. That means strengthening my heart, my lungs, the muscles in my legs, my ab muscles. I strengthen those and I will have a better metabolism, which will better burn all the calories and the fat. So I keep it all straight. Keep it all straight. Just do it right. Stop thinking that one thing will do it all because it all works together. It all works together, and the benefits are numerous. And I'm just finally discovering them. I am finally truly discovering them. And I'm loving it. I'm loving what I'm discovering. I'm loving it. It's wonderful. It is absolutely positively wonderful. So, aside from me, I hope that you all are having a great day and that your weather is cooperating with you one way or another, whatever you maybe need to do, whether it be inside or outside. If it's outside, I really hope that your weather's cooperating. And if it's on the inside, then I hope that the weather is cooperating. In other words, no blackouts or anything for major storms. Anyway, that is about it for today. Tonight, I am going to be giving you a conclusion of how my day went, and there will be a live stream tomorrow. Um, I am so tickled to be discovering these things and the difference it's making, uh, rehashing where I went wrong before, and realizing what I'm doing now has to be making that difference. And it has really truly become a learning curve, a lesson extremely well taught and completely, totally wanted to be learned. I am very grateful for what I am discovering, and I know without a shadow of a doubt it is my Father God who is teaching me this. Little bits and pieces here and there. He is guiding my way and teaching me. And I am so very grateful. And it is making a difference. And I look forward to seeing the outer results of the weight loss once it really starts to take place. Because right now it's just barely chipping away. But slowly but surely I am getting cracks in it, and it's going to start crumbling. You watch it see. So anyway, that is about it for today's live stream. Stay tuned for tonight's conclusion, and I will see you again tomorrow. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support and for watching. And have a great rest of your day.